What up, what up? Can you guys hear me all good? Unfortunately, it feels like the screen is stretched in, so I can't really get the whole... Oh, there we go. Now we're good. Sunday stream. Sunday outlook, you can say. Change of theory. Yeah, I'm in London right now. I'm at one of my friend's house, so I thought I would switch it up for you guys. So how was your week last week? How did everyone do? Honestly, finally January's over, so we can enjoy trading February now. Looking frustrated today. I guess. Let's see. Let's see what should be happening. I'm waiting. Finn might be a few minutes late. Is that classic? All right. I think we should start on silver. So these aren't my watch lists, but I really wanted to... Actually, let's go over this. Let's go over the weekly time frame and let me put into perspective of what goes on every single year. So you can kind of see how you want to position yourself in. So we have 2025. This is where we started last year, of course. We have January 26. So 6th of January is where we started the first quarter. And from the 6th of January, all we did was consolidate. So January usually is the worst month to trade. So if you found January of 26 hard to trade, completely fine. So when we had that huge run lower, like we had what, 6,000 point drop, insane. So this was like a 20 to 30 percent drop on the stock market. The indices 90% of the time are always going to be bullish. So if you're buying long term and holding, you are going to come out on top. But when you're day trading and you see a spike down like this, if the market goes lower, the VIX goes higher, right? If the VIX goes higher, then volatility goes higher as well. Why does your mentorship call never work? Probably because you didn't qualify for the mentorship. But yeah, as I was saying, we have the start of January. The opening price of the year is always very important. So we'll just go off this. Was the opening price of this down close candle. Once we move lower, this is where a market is discounted. So all the buying opportunities should take place down here, unless we just have a red year. But usually we should have some sort of retracement to the downside. So same thing I'm expecting for now. So this is January 26 right here, or 5th. We have the high of this range and we have the low of this range. Bro, stop applying for the mentorship. Number one, I haven't even released it again. Well, I have, but you probably didn't qualify for the program. Are you also no. So any admin stuff or whatever for Blue Guardian, do not come to me. I won't be able to help. All I do is trade. And I'm showing you the ropes of how I view the market and what I go through. So right now we are going over understanding the yearly candle and the process of the yearly candle as well, and how to build a bias from that. So we have last year, you could just use 2025 as an example. The opening price is super important. We are not going to get into a lot about it, but the opening price is important. So here, this candle, optimal buying plays are going to happen when the market's below here and the selling above. I think usually the indices are going to be bullish, so we should be able to trade lower. That's my perspective on this month. And then if we go on to the 3-month candle, this is important because of the quarterly perspective. So there's 4 quarters. First one, we have this gap. Any buying plays, I'm looking at below 19K. 19K, if we get there, you should just look to buy the indices. Yo, Finn's here finally.
What's up?
Bro, you made it. How do you
History
experience
capsule. Can you tag me in a ticket?
Have you? No, I haven't. But I mean, if you're trading CFDs, then you will most likely get slipped or whatever. It just happens. If you're trading futures, you won't get slipped. That's why we're doing a futures stream. I know, bro. Like
colors.
No, this is my friend's setup.
Oh, okay, okay. That's
Yeah.
some nice chart colors.
These are the ICT chart colors, bro.
Yeah. I like those. I have those.
Could you? That's the thing, bro. Like, loads of people think I don't know. If you could message me, I'll reset your account on Blue Guardian, bro. I don't know the next thing about resetting an account or whatever. Ask me about what you think the Nasdaq is going to do, and I can help you with that. That's about it.
I mean, when you tell Ralph, you will tell me, and then, nah, just tell me.
Yeah.
That'll probably work.
Bro, did you see silver? 30% down yesterday.
Do you know what happened?
What happened?
Does anyone know why silver dropped that much?
No one knows.
Okay. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. So gold and silver is owned by banks, right? Now, banks lie about the fact thing packing in the upper deck.
He slipped it in.
So yeah. So banks lie about the fact that they have physical gold, right? Gold and silver is on contract. So once you have a gold bar, you have a contract based in your name that you have this gold in ownership, right? So banks actually have the gold on paper and silver on paper, but they don't physically have it. Now, if price goes up so much like it did, then it costs the bank a lot of money to have this gold and silver on paper. Now, you don't want banks to go bust, right? So banks decided to, like huge banks decided to sell this gold and silver on paper, and that's why you see this rinse in both charts and both prices.
Yeah, that's actually like the same thing as if you're buying silver, like physically, the market value, you're not going to be able to get out at market value because there has to be a willing buyer at that point. And most jewelers are not going to buy silver at that point, you know. So that's where it comes into, like, if you're investing it, then you have to get out at logical levels. But if you're holding physical, then you're holding for 10 years minimum for gold and silver. But Bank of England have the most reserves of gold, from what I've heard as well.
From what you know.
Yeah, from what I know, or we've been told. So,
well, yeah, we already a big portion has been sold, right? So, I don't assume that we continue dropping until the contract end. But to be fair, I don't think gold is a very reliable pair to trade right now, especially because of the moves that happen right now. And besides that, if it keeps moving like this, you're not even allowed to trade it with brokers and CME. So because this is considered a crash, and below the 5%, you'd have the CME 5% rule where you're not allowed to trade it.
Yeah, I mean 31% on silver and gold. Most likely, I think this is just them bringing this market back because it was way too high to begin with.
Yeah.
Most people, like even the dollar, they're never going to let the dollar collapse that quickly. I mean, I think the dollar does go lower. Like this was the target we were looking for, but I don't know. To get even lower, I think it will take a while to get there.
What indicators do you rely on most before entering or exiting a trade? I don't use any indicators for my strategy. The only indicator that I do use is equal highs and equal lows.
Yeah.
Because I know that's liquidity that should be taken out. And of course, if you got equal lows or highs that are very far apart, sometimes it's not even visible in your chart, right? In your current screen. So if I would see an equal low like that, I would not be able to see that without the indicator, because that would mean that I would have to look left and have a very sharp eye to be able to even see some of them. So that's the only indicator that I use, but nothing for my entry or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Charles actually asked something good. It was about what do we do about another government shutdown? Because that's coming as well. I think most of the flow of, like, I don't know, trading might go into gold because NQ might consolidate again. Like last government shutdown, where was that? That was like November? Or was it December? I can't remember.
What?
I think it was the last government shutdown.
December.
Yeah, like look at it. This was the price.
But it took a long time.
Yeah, and then there's another one coming, and then gold and silver were the only markets that moved. So I definitely think watching gold and silver again might be the best perspective. I didn't really expect this 30% drop. We had the last day of the monthly candle. They were like, fuck it, let's just send it even lower, make the high, and then, yeah. Me personally, I think it was a pretty aggressive drop. But looking ahead on this week, as I said, you know, you're mainly looking at the opening price of the year. That's where most of your, like, you can just see where the market's overbought and oversold, right? So above this is where the market was overbought, and then below this it was oversold. So this was a discount, this was a premium. Once we're above this high, you know, I'm feeling like this market can trade lower, and then we can trade back to like 24K, 24,800s. I think that could be probably the best route for NQ to go into. ES has made an SMT above these highs. ES is trading at 7K. I don't really think it should be trading here. Maybe it goes lower to go higher.
Yeah, there are some pretty interesting questions actually in the chat. There's not as much interesting questions as in normal lives, though, to be fair.
I know. I posted in my Telegram. I was like, bro, you guys answer some questions. Ask us some questions.
Yeah. Do you want to go through questions or analyze more and then go through questions?
Yeah, we'll go. So basically for NQ, this is what I'm feeling like going into this week. We're bearish, and then we can go over silver as well, but we can go some questions because some of these are pretty good.
Yeah. How do you manage your risk in trades, especially during high volatility markets? Well, I don't mind high volatility. I mind when it starts consolidating. So I just become more strict with myself, especially with my break-even levels. Although, if it will be volatile to an extent where my break-even levels get hit more than usual, I just try to stick to my model as much as I can. Don't re-enter the trades on the same trading idea, because that's gonna get you in a rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like as the indices drop, if NQ goes even lower, the VIX is going to rise more. So like if you entered a position with 1 mini before, like you might not be able to do the same thing. So you're going to have to go 5 micros. That'll probably make the most sense. Maybe even just trading 1 micro. Like last time when we dropped 30%, 1 micro made a lot of money with that. So I was trading like a 2K account, and I got that 2K account to 5K, which was only trading like a few micros as well. But that's usually the best time, you know. You can risk less and make more, which is what I like.
Usually during conditions that I don't like, I tend to risk less, because I don't want to get hurt by the markets. And when it's volatile, as Ralph said, you'll be able to make the same amount of money with bigger moves. Yeah, that's just how I think about it.
Yeah. But yeah, we have some big tech earnings next week as well. I don't know what companies. I did see we have Microsoft again. I don't know what else, but usually when we have big tech earnings, you know, it's affecting the Nasdaq. I don't know if we have Nvidia. If we have Nvidia, that's going to affect it. But I say we sell the Nasdaq, we sell all the indices, and we just send it to 0.
Why does it change the contract sizing? It's just that you don't want to be risking the same amount, because you tend to hit your stop loss more in volatile markets like that. So if you once hit your TP, you'll be able to make the same amount of money. Just when you lose, it just hurts less.
Yeah, I know. I saw Microsoft was down. Where are the other stocks? I don't think he has. Yeah. MU's down. MU is like a good stock I like to look at as well when I'm looking at indices. But I feel like these stocks are way too high at the moment. You know, would prefer a run lower. So either we keep this high, hold an SMT, and then we send it lower, or we run all-time highs again and then we drop to the downside. Do you have any investments? Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't tell you my investment advice, but I'll tell you like what once Bitcoin gets below 70K, I'm probably going to start buying indices. If we get another flash sale below like 30K, the US indices, like I'm not saying where to buy and sell, but what I am saying is statistically, you can never go wrong with the US indices. Long term anyway. For a crash, the markets will never crash. Like the crash like everyone wants is like a crash would be if the Nasdaq just simply reversed and came all the way back to like 5K. That will be a market crash. That's when you got to worry about what the hell's going on in the world. But if the Nasdaq drops lower to like 20K, 19K, that's a healthy retracement, and that's something you can buy into, you know, like long term. And that's the same thing with silver and gold. Like a lot of people started buying physical silver and gold at like 122. So if you go to a jeweler, the jeweler is going to be happy to sell it to you at that price because he's like, oh, look how much I've made just off that. But if you try and sell it back at the same price, he's not going to buy it back off you. So that's the thing with physical items like silver and gold. You got to hold it for 5 to 10 years. It's not as easy as the market's at 124, 125. Now I can buy even more and make loads of money. It's usually not going to work like that because you need a buyer at that level, or who's going to buy at that time, you know, as well. Crude oil, we were looking at crude oil longs, right? This was when everything was happening in Venezuela. I can't remember the live stream, but we spoke about like oil starting to expand higher.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't really buy into oil or like invest into it. I feel like it's way riskier than anything else because I could just be stuck within a range. And then Bitcoin here as well. We had all these targets. 60K, really? 60K is like ideal to start buying, because everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to like go to zero. Anything that has a futures contract is controlled by the bank. The bank owns it, so they're going to do whatever they can to not absolutely sink this thing, you know, from that.
Oh, that's a lot of questions, man.
I know. Where's Gideon today, bro?
Well, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see more weekly outlook streams, we can definitely do them, and we can actually go over like previous markets. If you wanted, we could actually go over, if you trade my ranges, we can go over how my ranges performed like every single Sunday as well, like every individual day. You can kind of have a pseudo experience of everything. Backtesting, I mean, all you need to do is see if your strategy repeats and then just forward test it for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and just take a trade every single day with your model or whatever your model forms and see how it does. You know, does it make you money? Does it not? But as I stand, this is what I'm looking for in the indices going into the new week. Looking for bearish plays. Honestly, if we trade higher, 25,824 is like my dead zone. This is where we should stop to continue to the downside. You know, I don't want to see it go any higher. If it runs all-time highs, then maybe another run to short. That's really all I stand. Best price is going to be like 25,836, honestly.
Yeah.
I have the yearly open right here as well.
That's crazy, actually.
What?
That the yearly open is that close.
I know. I was actually
We
going
literally
over...
did not do anything this month, if you look at the big perspective.
Yeah, I was like, if you look at every single year from like January, usually is the worst month to trade. And the market usually makes its best move later parts of February. So even if we trade higher going into February, I do want to see it go lower after that. And like after February, you know, into like April time, price action is super clean, super good as well to trade. So if you had a hard January, it's kind of normal. Like it happens, you know. That's just the risk of trading at that time. And then we have gold right here, which we can... yeah, so we only trade futures. Forex, I don't really like too much anymore. Just seeing what's going on. If I had to rebuild my trading, honestly, I probably wouldn't change anything about my trading, because everything I did really shaped me into what I am right now, and like my process, how I view the markets, how I trade as well. If I change anything, it probably would be to accept losses, but in hindsight, it's the same thing. Like, there's no trader out there. You probably look up to like, well, most people look up to so many traders, but the thing is, they're all the same as you. The difference is they just learned the process, which were repeated, and started making the money, and they just stuck by it. You know, most people that I found, because I speak to so many traders every single day, right? And I help them in that process. They just can't stick to one thing. That's simply it. Like I had a few...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I see a lot of questions about the fact, like, about habits, and now I see a question about trading less. It's just the things that we have said before is, as a trader, you just have to go through everything. So if you're a huge overtrader like I was in the past, like putting 25-30 trades a day, at one point you're gonna get sick of the fact that it doesn't work. and that you learn that even if your model shows every single day, but you only take the best setups and you take three trades a week or 2 trades, or maybe some weeks not even one, you'll see that your P&L is going up way quicker than trying to trade every single day.
Yeah.
And how to train that restraint is just to see that it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I agree. And then what was, to be honest, like if the markets really crashed, then you're seeing silver and gold coming back to 3K, wiping all of this out. You're seeing indices trade back below like 20 to like 15K. Like all of that, if the market gets to that point, I doubt it will, but if it does, then we have bigger things to worry about than where the market's sitting, you know? You have like, if the indices start to crash, the dollar starts to crash, everything crashes, you have more worries than just what's going on in front of the charts, you know?
Yeah. When you trade...
Honestly, I don't spend too long in front of the charts as well. Like maybe...
No, me neither. Because I know that my good trades already play out or form like the first hour.
Well, the time-based range is only... No, you can trade them on gold and silver. A lot of people, like in my academy, they mainly trade it on gold. Gold's pretty good, like very quick in its movement. It's volatile enough to trade. So anything with a futures contract, you can trade my ranges. They're very good. I think in the next weekly outlook, if you guys like it, then we can go over my ranges. Like I'll have them on my screen, and then we can kind of break down the process and see how it's performed for the previous week.
When you reflect on your journey, what played the bigger role in achieving consistency, improving your edge or removing self-sabotage behaviors? And how do you know which one to prioritize first? Listen to this thing. If you follow my model or Rauf's model, because they are a little bit different. Here's the thing. If I would give you my rules and you stick to them, the strategy is not the hard thing. The thing that you should prioritize is the self-sabotage. That's the whole thing. Because if you just write down a strategy step by step and you follow those steps without any emotion, which is impossible, then you would be profitable. It's the self-sabotage that you should worry about.
Yeah. Most of the time as well. That's the main thing. Also, do you think you need all this knowledge about I think it's possible to be profitable with a mechanical edge, but you also need some, I don't know, to succeed in trading. I actually believe you need like a high IQ, or you need like an IQ to a point that you just, not like an Einstein level IQ, but you need something that can help you make decisions, right? You can't just wake up and just be like, today I feel like the market's going to sell off because it just looks like it's going to sell off. Like if you trade like that, you probably won't do well, but you just need to have some sort of emotional intelligence when it comes to trading. Like if you're taking losses, then you need to be able to step away. If you're just buying evals and resetting, then you need to be able to step away. Like all of these things really shape a trader to be better, and the decision making is the most important as well. So if the model tells you to short, you trust the model. You don't just be like, I don't want to trust it, I'm just going to try something else. I've seen this so many times where I've had people in my academy that I tell them the model, I teach them everything. They just do the complete opposite. They just one day the model doesn't form, so they take the opposite trade. And I'm like, okay, try it again. And they try it again and they lose and the model performs. So that's just you not being able to emotionally trust a model and a system. That's why you failed. And then they just go off and try something new. And it's just a loop that most people stay within. I lost all my money. I need to restart again. Damn. What did you lose it on? In gold?
I mean, that's the whole thing, you know, like if you're trying to strain the brakes of your car, you're lucky if the gas runs out.
Yeah.
Hello, Finn. I got a question. I always face losses when I trade Asia or London, but my setups works perfectly in New York. How to overcome this issue? Don't trade London and Asia.
Bro.
What?
I mean, like, he typed out the question, but he answered it himself.
No, I told him don't trade Asia and London.
I know, but he said, I always get questions.
Oh, yeah.
I always, like, the losses come from Asia and London, so it makes sense not to trade them, you know?
I mean, okay, now someone asked me to analyze gold. I'm not going to analyze gold because I don't think it makes much sense from a technical perspective. So for me, I'm the worst at trading during these moves. So I won't. Yeah.
So I gave you my overview on NQ. I'm pretty sure Finn's like the same with it or experiencing the same process. And then
I see that low in the fair value gap that I would like to see be taken out. Is that what makes the most sense to makes the most sense to me?
Yeah. On NQ, and then we can go over gold, but it makes no sense because this is the daily and the weekly. If we're looking at the weekly, then whenever you have a small body large wick, you're targeting 50% of both sides. So this market's going to open up around here. Either we take out 50% of this wick and trade higher, or we trade higher and take out 50% of this wick and trade lower. These are like the only two areas that I'm concerned with. That's how you can only build a bias with this market, because you have two main things you need to keep in mind. You have the market that's already sold off and is down 15%, and you have a new monthly candle opening. You can just sit out this week, but if you trade with my ranges, then you have trades intraday, so it's always a bit better. So that's really where I stand with all these markets. Nice to see Bitcoin's pushing lower. If you guys were with me and Finn from like, I don't know, the start of the year or even 2025, we were speaking about Bitcoin trading lower, trading below 100K. It's already at 80K now, so impressive. Do you think it's good to stop trading New York if it gives... Dude, New York is like super choppy and you really have no margin for error. So you could be wrong in London, so with the range. You could be wrong here. You take a loss on the short and you take another short and you're right. So you take one loss and a win. In New York, the market could do this. You could be bullish and it just chops around and then finally pushes lower and then runs higher. So you got caught within a chop, you tried to long again, and then you lost, and then finally it runs higher. So I mainly like London. I've made most of my money from here the past like 3-4 months. New York's been pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't liked the price action.
But to be fair, London lately has been really good with a lot of movement, so it does make sense because most of the time when you got a big run in London, New York tends to chop around.
Yeah.
Another question, I always revenge trade. I'm just tired of my psychology. What you can do is put external limits. So you put in your account that you're only allowed to lose $400 in a day. And once you hit that limit, you cannot even trade anymore. So it will force you to pick a setup that you actually think is going to play out. Because most of profitable trading, and it sounds stupid, but it's just stop doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Because if well, I don't know if I can say this on stream actually.
So what?
Yeah, I saw it in someone's video. I sent it to Matt actually. He was going to use it for a reel, but if okay, so in that sense, finding a setup is like letting out a fart. You know, if you have to force it, it's probably going to be shit.
Yeah, that's one way to
It's true.
look at it as well. For someone who has been trading futures for only 6 months and never passed an eval, but has not blown an account in a month, it depends on like how you like to trade. You know, like, do you like to be more aggressive? Do you want to wait for like a consistency rule or meet the consistency? It kind of depends. Like, usually, if you have a consistency rule on the eval, you shouldn't have one on the funded. And if you have a consistency on the funded, then you have none on the eval. So it depends on whichever route you want to take. But the Guardian plan has no consistency on the eval, which is pretty nice. You can kind of pass in one day. But if you want to take it slower, I think it's also good to go with the one with the consistency on the eval.
Thank you. Bon appetit. Someone said bon appetit, by the way. I'm not telling you.
Why?
When you hit a drawdown, do you reduce size, reduce frequency, or pause completely? And why? Okay. I'm very confident in my model, so I keep risking the same. But sometimes you'll get through times where your probability is just not playing out. For me, it's very unlikely to lose 10 trades back to back. So in the case I do, and I get halfway through my drawdown, I half my size until I get out of drawdown, because that makes me a little bit more chill. It doesn't matter as much if I get poked again, but in some sense, I try to, if it's really bad, I would try to reduce the frequency. So literally only take my A+++++ setups.
I'm not a YOLO trader. Yeah, I would go with a 50K account. I mean, they're the easiest to pass and the easiest to get a payout with without taking too much risk on. I think 50Ks are always the best. And then you can always kind of scale in, buy some more. In one short, you mentioned 14 million retail traders, 2 million. Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, that's from me speaking with so many prop firms. So you guys probably don't see the stats, or you don't see what's going on. But around 15 million retail traders in the world, you watching this video is like the smallest percent in the world. Like, this is like a 1% chance of you coming across my teachings and even sitting on a stream like this. So out of the 14 million retail traders, around 2 million trade prop firms, maybe more. I think, let's say 5 million trade prop firms. From that 5 million, there's probably less than 100K, if we push it, making consistent money every single year. It's the same as being a top level athlete. Like, everyone wants to be Ronaldo or whatever, whoever's the best in the world. But it takes so much discipline to get to that point and to follow your rules. Not everyone can be at that level. The same goes for trading, you know.
What was the hardest habit you had to unlearn in trading that most beginners don't realize is holding them back? I was trading a lot, and the lesson I learned is trade less. Trade less is more money.
Which is not I mean, you can just find it on YouTube.
What
my
point should a
channel.
trader stop optimizing strategies and focus entirely on consistency and capital preservation?
Oh, that's a pretty good question.
That's a pretty good question. I need some time for that, to be fair. I regret reading that now. No, I'm kidding. But at what point should a trader stop optimizing strategy? I mean, there's so many concepts. And if you put time into it, every single concept and strategy can work. I think optimizing your strategy is more about your mental capacity. For example, even if you would look at an inversion for value gap model, you can have so many setups a day, but only if you are actually good. So I don't think it's about, in that sense, optimizing your strategy. I think when you're profitable and then optimize your own trades based on that strategy, that you start looking into when do you succeed more in what part of the month. And capital preservation is a big thing entirely. And if you're profitable, I would just go full on, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're holding yourself back. It's not that you have to optimize your strategy. I do think that you have to adapt from time to time, but that's more because of the conditions that we're in, with a huge gold sell-off, with Trump being a president, for example, with conflicts in the world that can make you need to adapt to the market a little bit more, because you're not gonna have a single strategy and never gonna adapt it, and then it's gonna work for years and years and years. You do have to adapt sometimes to the current market conditions.
Yeah. Can I FaceTime you? Sure,
Can I
bro.
FaceTime you?
Yeah, sure, guys. You can FaceTime me whenever you want.
Yes.
I'll tell you the truth to the markets and bore you with it.
Ooh,
But yeah, I
okay.
mean, that's really where we stand with these markets. If you guys do enjoy these streams, then we can definitely do them every single Sunday. I think NQ can definitely get these lows going into this week. If we start closing above the January 30th high, then we can maybe run all-time highs again. But I want to see if we can run these lows and then push on lower. I think that's probably going to be the best. We do have another government shutdown. Before I would have said just keep your eyes on gold and silver, but it looks like these markets have the mind of their own. I definitely think we will get 50% of this wick. But if you made it through January, then you should give yourself a pat on the back. Most traders don't make it through there. That's usually a month where most quit as well. They're like, this trading stuff does not work at all. Do you think tokenization? Oh yeah, 24 hours markets really isn't going to do anything. You guys are just going to have 7 days of the week instead of 5 to lose money. So
That sounds great to me.
So instead of having 5 days trading the markets, you have 7 days to trade the markets and lose money.
But if trading is 24/7, does that mean that the banks will also trade on the weekend?
No.
Or will it be that Saturday and Sunday will be considered like a bank holiday?
Saturday and Sunday, I mean, bro, it's like Wall Street still will be closed on the weekend. I don't think anyone's going to come in. I don't think most people are going to
So then
work.
it doesn't make much sense.
Nothing's going to change, but it's mostly for, I don't know, making the markets more efficient going into the future and everything like that. But I don't really think much is going to happen. It's more so like overnight, actually, we could just go over this. So these markets actually trade on Saturdays and Sundays. You guys just don't see it because we trade on TradingView. So wherever this market opens up on Sunday, there might be a gap lower or a gap higher.
Yeah.
If you're trading at like an institution or like anywhere that is respectable for finance, you can see the price action during the weekend. So you can actually see that gap going lower. There's just not enough volume to trade it, but you can actually see it. We all trade on TradingView. We're like the bottom of everything. So we don't really see what really goes on.
That's true.
Tokenization will change the whole way liquidity works. Best to get. I don't think it will. The markets are liquid enough. These markets don't need liquidity, to be honest.
No.
The markets are liquid enough to move every single day. Like the S&P 500, 500 stocks trade in that. Like it's liquid enough to move. It doesn't need liquidity to be engineered, as it always is preached. They're highly liquid. So even with the options contract, there's enough participants, enough money flowing in. But the 7 days of the week is just going to be, I think, a test for the future. It's not really anything for the retail world to worry about.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys do like these streams, we'll definitely do some more if you want to go over it. That's really where we stand. Is there any other market you wanted to go over, Finn?
No, I think if we keep doing the questions, that will go over the hour. So unfortunately, we do have to close it. But we'll be back tomorrow because today is Sunday.
Oh yeah, we're
tomorrow is
streaming on
day.
Monday. We'll be trading the open, streaming the open. So
Yeah.
you don't think the time-based ranges will shift with the? No, the markets are still going to be 23 hours for the day. There's still going to be a cutoff period, I believe. If it goes 24 hours, then you just have another hour to trade instead of the whole, what do you call it? The whole 23. So apart from when the market closes at 5 to 6, you can trade from 5 to 6 if you really wanted to. It's just added time to the market that you can gamble a bit more if you wanted. Was back testing. How?
The questions keep coming in.
I know you get these guys are.
I love it, but...
Was back testing your time-based range? I had a question. Yeah, so those 3 consecutive candles, I actually taught them as a full delivery shifting. So if you watch one of my tutorials on Twitter, you can see when I speak about the first candle, this is the one that changes delivery. This is the one that we have a shift. These 3, once we close below all of them, this is where liquidity shifts fully. So now you can trust a selling opportunity. If you're trading on the lower time frame, then it's going to look a bit different. But just pretend this is the 5-minute time frame. Once it closes below full delivery shift, you can trust the selling setup to the downside. So it's just basically a full confirmation. And what invalidates it is if we fail to take our high and low within the first hour and a half. Please stream every Sunday. Yeah, definitely we'll be looking to add that to everything. Start trading London. Yeah, the thing is, when I trade London, it's like 7:30 a.m. for me. I'm not awake enough to stream with you guys.
No way. It's 7:30 at that time?
Yeah. So like sometimes Finn's messaging me, I'm like half asleep. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
You didn't know?
No. Oh, but that makes sense though, because here it's 11. Here it's like 11 or 12.
Yeah. London opens 8 a.m. for me. I mean, it's all London time.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. What should the word be for today? The word's got to be Sunday.
Sunday is a good word. Not the ice cream, but the day.
Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't make it on Friday for the stream, so I thought, why not? We run an outlook, go over some questions, and then we can have a bit of fun on a Sunday. But we'll definitely do another stream. We could do 2 winners for today's giveaway. No. All right, I got 1 winner at stock trades.
Okay, you guys ready for the next one?
We're ready.
Ranzitis. Do I say it correct? Congratulations on your giveaway accounts, guys.
All right, well done to those that won an account. Let us know in the comments of this video if you want to see more Sunday streams. Like, then you have a lot of education. You know, it's really, if you take it on board, it's really hard for you not to succeed. You know, you have so much free value from Blue Guardian and what they're providing, especially with the accounts and everything. And I do believe there is some special things coming. So a lot of value is being provided, especially the free accounts that are being given away. So if you're not making the most of the streams and Blue Guardian, then you really need to lock in. So huge thank you to them and well done to the winners. We'll be back live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then if you guys really want the Sunday streams, we will be back live then as well. So
if you really,
have a good
really
rest of
want
your
that.
Sunday as well. Yeah, if you really want that, then we'll definitely do it. Maybe just let us know inside of the Discord as well.
By the way, there are some big changes coming for Blue Guardian Futures plans. So also
Yeah, that's
sharing
what.
more about that.
Yeah, the winners were announced like top left of the stream, so you kind of look back. We are planning on working with a random like generator, so we can just pick random winners right now. We just pick as soon as it comes down.
It's pretty random, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and hopefully you guys have a good week. Happy February and well done for making it through January. It was a rough month, I'm not going to lie.
It was.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.